documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the host of the Ronald Show, Ronald.
What if the government intelligence analyst from the Pentagon is forced to save mankind from extinction and the world from destruction, but first he must evolve into the Messiah and create the plan to save the world? The 21st century Messiah arrives, battles dark forces, and sparks the Armageddon that leads to the apocalypse, rapture, the 2012 pole shift, and extraterrestrial contact. Buy the book today by Ronald Farnham at Amazon and Barnes & Noble. The Second Coming of the Messiah. Book 1, The Awakening.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it is perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex and teaching you to be a predator in commerce. We're at the tail end of our party, and there's one surviving party member. This is Brad Fox. It's Sunday/Monday, October 13th/ October 14th. The party started on the 13th, and now it's the 14th, and I promised I would stay up. I promised everybody who came to the party that I'd stay up until what? Until dawn, right?
Until dawn.
And then Brad
hold them to it.
Yeah, and Brad's holding me to it. I wanted to go to sleep like 2 hours ago, and he said, no. He said, I just finished playing a gig, and I drove all the way out here, and you said you were staying up till dawn, so you're staying up till dawn, so it's like 5.
God, it is.
It's almost 5 a.m., yeah. So, anyway, we were talking about Brad here eats a really healthy, clean diet.
Well,
and this is the same Brad who was in other episodes of the Ronald Show dealing with your dad's estate. I recorded some of our phone calls on the phone and put them on the reality show.
Sure.
And we were tracking the progress of your situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you were at the point where you were going to lose the house and you were doing all the paperwork for your father's property. What happened with that?
Well, basically what happened, I had very little resource to confront the wrongdoings of the estate. But I felt like I had to do it, to try. Because I wouldn't, I'm the kind of person that if I don't try, then I feel more guilty in the long run.
The pain of hard work is much less painful than the pain of regret, right? You don't want to feel regret.
Regret, yeah. So I tried to, and it was very, very difficult. I basically contacted, all the proper authorities to try to tell the story and to get someone to get on the case of the fact that the home was being taken away due to the I would say the attorney, my dad's attorney, pretty much duped the family and stole the monies that were due to him to sell his business from the reverse mortgage that he had to take out on the property.
And your dad was an inventor, right? What was your dad's name?
Anthony Fox.
Anthony Fox. And how many inventions did he have?
Over 90 patents. Over 90
patents.
Yeah.
And he was also, you said, a salt flats racer?
Yeah, he was part of the history of the speed on the salt flats, the quest for breaking records.
Did he break land speed records?
They were standing, most of them were, because it was a rocket car, were standing records. In other words, they weren't starting from a point and going through a point A to point B. It was right at point A to point B. In other words, it was a measurement from a standstill. And the land speed record is a running running through the timing gates.
I see. So instead of from a dead stop to a start, this land speed record is where they're already going, and then they hit a mark and they start the timing from there.
Right.
So they then get their momentum.
He was going to do that. He was going to get a car to do that, but he went to the Salt Flats 2 separate times, broke 21 national records on the Salt Flats the first time with the car, and then the second time he pretty much broke his own records with a monocoque car, which was built like a...
Did you say monocoque?
Yes, I know. It's kind of a...
I'm a monocoque.
Monocoque? Right.
It's got one.
Well, yeah, okay.
If I had two, I'd never have time to do this show.
I like the play in words too, so...
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be duocoque. Twacoque. Or quack-quack. That'd be four-quack-cock. It's a tongue twister, too.
A tri-quack.
Quack-cock. Yeah, tri-cock.
Okay.
Quincock, septcock, octcock.
Poppycock.
Poppycock, which is where the show is going, into the world of poppycock. So, what other kind of inventions did your dad have?
Fiberglass gun, first drive system for a jet boat, the first snowmobile, belt-driven snowmobile, the trash compactors, mini bikes, a lot of, inventions too, certain inventions, add-ons, he was building, he got a jet airplane half built and approved by the FAA, which is really expensive, from scratch. And Bill Lear was helping my father at the time.
Bill Lear?
And he admired my dad.
It was a Lear jet company.
Yes, right? He admired my dad because he was building it from scratch, and Bill Lear built his Learjet from an adaptation of a Swedish fighter. That's what a Learjet is. It's really a Swedish fighter.
Oh, really? Yes. What did he reverse engineer a Swedish fighter jet?
He just
used the same structure.
Used the same, basically the same plane, just added and took away a few things. Yeah. Anyway, but that he was working with Bill Lear, and then Bill Lear died, and then the Gulf War came along, and the engines were all designed around the cruise missile engine, and then when they banned those engines because they used it, you can yawn, it's okay, go right ahead. Don't have to hide it.
Late. And we've been drinking all night.
Yeah. Anyway, so he where was I? I'm tired too.
You were on, I was about to say, you live in Hollywood, you're an actor. You just did a Nike commercial with LeBron James, right? You play a referee, so look for Brad in that commercial. You're getting good residuals from that.
Yeah.
But also part of being an actor in Hollywood is eating right. And we had this party and you're staying away from some of the, stuff like this.
Yeah, the stuff that's very processed.
It's got processed stuff like this.
Yeah.
Because why don't you eat this like the white flour and stuff?
Well, I have a allergy. My body will react to it right away, and not in a positive way. Everything I try to.
Your body fat's low. What do you mainly eat?
What I mainly eat?
Yeah.
I just think it's a present. You want to become more aware of what food is or isn't, and once you start doing that, you make better choices, and that's really what it boils down to. I mean, it's just without getting complicated about it, and you just find out what real food is and what it isn't, and then make your decisions. And I think moderation's a key in life with everything. Yeah, but I think there's purists, and I think the body can sort of regenerate or digest certain things. What I really do, I come more from the European. Like, I eat my meals, I'll eat say my proteins or whatever I need to eat that are harder to digest, and then I'll eat a salad at the end, so it acts more like a flush, because it really.
That's what the Europeans do, right?
Yeah, the European
salad at the end is
right.
like a cleanser.
Right, exactly, and you really feel better. I think everything should be gauged in how you feel, and if you become more aware of how you feel when you eat something, whether it's good for you or you feel good or it doesn't feel as good, I think that's the major point, because then it becomes you spark more of an awareness thing. And that's really what being healthy is anyway. I mean, in physical or mental is awareness.
Yeah, totally. And then once you're aware, then you can't become unaware again, because it's funny, ignorance is bliss. I wish I didn't know some of the things I did know. I'd be more kind of at peace in the way things are in this world specifically. So, you were talking about why you don't eat wheat products. What was one of the reasons that you said you didn't eat wheat products? Tell me about that, what you said before.
Wheat, there's a thing they called Frankenwheat, and Monsanto has basically taken, I believe, what they, how they can't patent an herb, what they've done with seed is they've pretty much
monopolized the market of seed production on the planet, right?
And that's the problem, is that it's all genetically altered. There's no bread now that you can get that's going to be pure of without being altered.
So stop eating bread completely, because you're just screwing up your genetic. I guess your genes, really.
You are what you eat.
You
right?
are what you eat. So right, when you ingest something, it gets broken down into the basic amino acids, or whatever simplest form it's going to get broken down into, and then you absorb it into your cells.
Man-made. It's a man-made gene-altered product. Is a man-made product, and of course, all this bad stuff we're talking about is pretty much the same of that. And what drugs are man-made, and they all the side effects of drugs. So if drugs that they give us, that these seeds have side effects, and all the things that come from those seeds. And so what are better alternatives now is non-wheat products, such as maybe that you can make breads out of coconut, breads out of flaxseed, almond bread. So there's.
So just stay away from regular bread, because it's going to mess up your genes or your genetic makeup, and then it'll also affect your children, because you become whatever your new genetic makeup is based on what you're eating, and then you pass that on through your genetically modified, reproductive organs now, and then your children become a genetic byproduct of whatever you've been eating, right? Because they become what you eat too, especially when you're fertilizing the egg at that point, right? Because your genes have been all screwed up. So stay away from anything that's processed, really. You don't want to eat anything that comes from a box, a bag, a bottle, or a can.
Right. And if you do, there's certain things that are better than others, and those are important too. So if you do have to break you're eating something that's processed. Like, instead of drinking milk, I drink almond milk, which is doesn't, like soy milk isn't good, because they take a chemical to break the soy down to liquid. That's not good.
Yeah.
So,
no chemicals. You don't want any chemicals.
No chemicals. So, you can actually make your own almond milk. It's very simple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You just take almonds and put them in a blender, put water in it, and it'll turn into milk. Yeah. And so there's just alternative ways of taking maybe what you're addicted to and transferring your addiction to bad things to better things.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest. I mean, we all like to munch. We're all kind of neurotic in some degree in something or wherever. And sometimes when we're
I've
munching
been getting
on things,
into the habit of drinking 5 glasses of water before every meal.
well, that's really good because
It's like a habit.
well, that's really good habit because that, I think, for one, you won't overeat. 2, you'll be
Very hydrated.
you're hydrated, and 3, your body will be more aware of its desires and what you want for it because it'll be healthier. It'll be hydrated.
Let me ask you a few questions. And these are some questions now that I'm asking people that I interview, but do you trust your government that they're telling you the truth about, I don't know, all kinds of things? How do you feel as far as trusting your government?
The government.
Yeah.
Well, they don't have. It's not a good track record. You got to look at. I think, look at what especially if the FDA. If you call that our government, right?
Food and Drug Administration?
Yeah, right.
That's the Food and Drug Administration.
Is that part of our government?
Administrative office for the federal government, and they are a governing body for foods and drugs that are available to the public, right?
Do you think they got a good track record?
No.
So my point is that if they push all these drugs on us and then tell us not to medicate ourselves, and yet their drugs that they do all these studies on for years and years end up killing people anyway, and then creating side effects.
Well, they make profit.
So there you go. So do you trust anything that is a profit organization? That's the question.
See, who does he sound like? All right, well, good. So you trust them as much as I do, which means you don't trust them at all. Well, thanks, Brad, for being on the show.
Yeah.
And come back again anytime, and we can discuss more about health and collapsing the global military-industrial complex and eradicating the monetary system. All right. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Have you ever wanted to write a book? Have you ever wanted to write a screenplay? Have you ever wanted to have your great movie idea turned into a screenplay, turned into a movie, turned into a book, and distributed all over the world? Well, now you can learn how to do it with the great new book by Ronald, How to Write a Screenplay in 30 Days or Less. It includes the logline, theme, synopsis, outline, and screenplay of the 3 magic questions. Learn how to write a screenplay in 30 days or less, or your money back. Get it today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Hello everyone, and welcome back to The Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it is perpetrated by the global military-industrial complex and teaching you to be a creditor in commerce. Today is Wednesday, 16 October 2013, and as you can see here behind me is a beautiful marijuana plant, and here's some more too right here. I have moved on to a marijuana growing farm, which is wonderful. Now I've just started my own 3 plants, and I'm going to bring you right over to them. I'm going to disappear from here, and all of a sudden we're going to be in front of my plant that just started sprouting. All right, so hold on tight. Here we go. Here we are. Now, as you can see here, this one is the first one that started to sprout. So I just sprouted it, and it's got a little plant going. That's it as a baby. It's gonna grow big. Yeah. And we'll see. I don't know. Anyway, so 1 down, 2 to go. And as long as I get one good one, this one's going to be just big and beautiful and have a lot of buds like the other ones. Alright? Alright, thanks for watching the Ronald Show. Welcome to the marijuana farm. Peace. Part of living on a marijuana farm is being able to grow plants legally. So you have to have your license. And here, that's my first license that I framed. Me and my license. So you can see that I am a legal plant grower. That way it costs me less to have it if I grow it. Alright, thanks for watching the Ronald Show. Peace. Hello and welcome back to the Ronald Show. It's October 1st, 2013 and it's Tuesday, and here's how you juggle. Now, there's one basic move in juggling. It's the over, up, over, up. See, over, up, over, up. You getting that? Let me back it up a little. Over, up. Then, you add a third. Over, up, over. Okay, so it's over, up, under. Over, up. Start with 2 in the right hand, 1 in the left. Over, up, under. And that's how you juggle. Hi everybody, it's the Ronald Show. It's time for teaching dogs how to do stuff. Now, dogs will do stuff, you just gotta teach them. These are AA batteries. Dogs don't know what AA batteries are. So, Energizer. I'm gonna show them AA batteries. This is Dylan. Dylan, see, look at the camera, right there. Say hi, Dylan. See, look. Dylan, look. See, look at the batteries. Yeah. See, dogs don't care about batteries. She doesn't know the significance of the batteries. This is Lola. Lola. These are AA batteries. See, this is AA batteries. And this is an electric shaver. See this? Look, Lola. That's an electric shaver. Dylan. This is an electric shaver. Now they don't know what this does because no one ever taught them. So this is how you teach dogs to do stuff. So first I got to put the AA batteries in the electric razor. Then I'm going to turn on the electric razor, and then the dogs will then know what an electric razor is, and depending on what happens with the electric razor, they might never want to be around one ever again. This show is sponsored by Guinness Beer. So I'm going to take the AA batteries out, and I am going to put them in the electric shaver. And then that'll be part 2 of the lesson, teaching the dogs about the electric shaver. So remember, AA batteries, Energizer. Oh, Duracell. Duracell. Okay. Interesting how it's got the little pull down tab for 2 batteries coming out. And these are AA batteries. Okay, dogs. Look at this. Guess what this is? Look how excited. Look, see? AA batteries. Look, Lola, AA. AA. See? Dylan, look at him. She doesn't know if it's beef jerky or a AA battery. This, it's a AA battery. Dylan is named after Bob Dylan, and Lola is named after the song Lola. I think it's by Derek and the Dominoes. This show is sponsored by Lola. Okay, look, AA battery. AA battery. This electric shaver takes 2 AA batteries. No, stay here. Okay, so I'm taking the cover off of the electric shaver. Look, what's that? I took the cover off of the electric shaver. See, you should let him at least sniff everything. Oh, here comes Murray. Come on in here, kid. Murray, guess what? Ooh, these two love each other. Ah, see? Murray knew she was about to get taken down by Lola. Lola's an American bulldog, isn't she the cutest thing? Give me a kiss. Give me kisses. Okay. Alright, kids. Back. Uh-oh. They might wind up humping on camera. And they're like that. See? This is actually dog foreplay. I guess I could just let them finish. This is how they... Right now they're making out, actually. And in my bed. I don't think that's cool. But what's going to happen is they're going to finish, and then Murray, the little one, is going to, who's named after Bill Murray, is going to jump on Lola right here, and she's about to mount her. Wow, they're passionate tonight. Ooh, look at that. Oh, they love the camera. Aw. Hey. Don't let Dylan spoil the mood. Alright, so these are AA batteries. Don't worry, they'll come back and hump. Murray, named after Bill Murray, is a horn dog. Alright, so Lola is the only dog left. So we're going to continue now with dog class. AA batteries by Duracell and an electric shaver. Now, Lola, these are AA batteries. Aww, these are AA batteries. See the AA batteries? Okay. Now, once I put the AA batteries in, Lola's probably going to be very interested at the sounds this thing makes. I hope this doesn't take AAA's. Alright, it did take AA's. It's a weird configuration. I could barely figure it out. I don't know how a dog would. Did you hear that? Okay, so as you heard, the batteries are in the electric shaver. See, Lola? I have put the batteries, like such, in the electric shaver in the following configuration. Does that mean anything to you? She's so relaxed, she has no idea what's coming. That's because no one's ever taught her about an electric razor before, so I'm going to put the cap back on the electric razor. The Ronald Show, sponsored by Guinness. October 1st, 2013, Tuesday. Okay, so now the batteries are in the electric shaver. And the dog is peacefully in bliss. So now the dog is going to learn about the electric razor. I'll shave the ears. See? Look, this is what you do with an electric razor, Dylan. You shave ear hair. So, now you know this is what you do with an electric razor. Shave ear hair. Dylan, Lola, look. Here is how you use an electric razor. You want me to shave your ear hair? Okay, let's see how this. Ready? Come here, Dylan. And here we go. Good girl. Good girl. See? That's how you use an electric razor. Alright, thanks for watching the Ronald Show. Introducing Lola and Dylan. Thanks for their participation. And remember, this show is brought to you by Duracell batteries and Guinness beer. Peace. Hey, look at the camera.
The human race will die.
Oh, really?
The first commandment is to maintain a global population under 500 million. Do you know what that means? It means 6.5 billion people are going to die at the hands of the Illuminati unless we stop the Iranians from detonating that dirty nuclear bomb at the Hollywood and Vine train station.
The Iranian suicide bomber cell is located at the Vibe Hotel on Hollywood Boulevard.
This isn't Scooby-Doo.
Little blood drink and turned your stomach?
Guide them to the bomb. What is this? Fucking Batman and Robin?
I had become part of something that I no longer felt right about serving.
It's Hollywood and Vine, not Vine Hollywood. Don't you know anything about American culture? You silly Russian.
The global military-industrial complex.
Leading the charge of the carnal feminine.
Ah, yes. The Messiah.
My book. It's the solution.
How is that the way the world is?
Traitor. Who are you working for?
If I was cartoon character, I'd be Woody Woodpecker.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From the Gulf Stream waters to the New York Island, this land was made for you and me.
Google mailbox stickers.
Google what?
Red, blue, and yellow mailbox stickers.
Why?
There's a pink one too that means something else. Like there's 4 different colors.
So,
I saw a video on it last night.
what do the mailbox stickers signify?
The little round disc. If you have a red one on there, and the guy said they're gonna martial law is gonna take place between 3 and 4 a.m. They already declared martial law on another thing in the Philippines already in September.
They did?
I believe that they might have. It was on. When I was looking at martial law on the internet, Philippines kept coming up for September, but I didn't read it in the article. I finally typed in the United States.
September 2013. So September of 2013?
Huh?
Say that again. September of this year, martial law was declared in the Philippines? In 2013?
That doesn't mean much. All these communist countries have martial law all the time. I mean, there was a guy that was in Afghanistan that got on the thing and said that they routinely went in at 3 o'clock in the morning all over Afghanistan and Iraq and terrorized families and would kill the men in the family that they try to resist for no reason. And when the media was around, they acted totally different. The guy was like on YouTube just freaked out and showing videos of what they did to people.
In the Philippines?
No, in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Oh, in what years? Ongoing?
The past 2 years.
Past.
Always. So you had to have your first kill, and if your first kill was by with a knife, you'd get 4 days leave. One guy sat up there and said, "Yeah, this guy, I shot him down. He was just riding his bike." You have to
So let me ask you something. When do you think martial law is going to happen in the United States?
11/9.
November 9th, 2000.
Coffins they have.
2013.
They have 500,000 coffins per FEMA camp. They hold 3 bodies each, and they show the coffins. They're these plastic buckets with lids. They're disposable coffins, and they have concentration camp gas chambers that can incinerate with crematories right there on the FEMA camps. They show them, and they're stacked with people. All those fires that were set in Colorado would have moved 50,000 people out of an area where they were finishing up building a FEMA camp, so the people couldn't move it. We started those fires.
What's going to be the reason that the government's going to give for martial law to be declared in the United States?
Well, because if the dollar collapses and you can't buy food, there's going to be total chaos.
And you think
the dollar's going to collapse.
And the dollar's going to collapse. So you think the dollar's going to collapse soon? Where did you hear this?
Online. Well, if you just go on Google, open up your computer.
Yeah.
Google.
Dollar collapse.
New World Order, the collapse of the dollar, martial law.
I know.
They do have tons of. I don't like the fact that there's foreign troops in our country, over 350,000, and all these training things. No one's allowed to go on leave, or everyone that's in a reserve position in until a certain date.
You mean they already have it pre-planned that they're going to call martial law, declare martial law? You think they already have it pre-planned now that they're going to declare martial law, that they've already set a date and now they're preparing to do that?
Why did they do that? There was going to be a government shutdown, and maybe they just were preparing to, just in case maybe it was a test to see if people would uprise, and they didn't. People just took it laying down. They laid off 800,000 people from government jobs during the government shutdown, and nobody did anything.
When was that? The first government shutdown? What happened? Oh, recently? This government shutdown?
September 18th, yeah.
September 18th?
So there was a government shutdown. Maybe they were, because everything had to be done by October 1st. I know it was I don't remember the date the government shutdown started. But everything that they ordered and put into place had to be done by October 1st, right around that date. If you go on YouTube and you start watching some of these videos, you'll see martial law, Obama's martial law plan, or something like that. I wrote it down so I could send it to you, and I don't know where I put it.
That's okay. You know what? I can just type in the keywords, because Google has everything meta-tagged on the internet through their Department of Defense meta-tagging contract, which is one of them. That's why Google is so powerful and has all of the best technology and the newest things, is because they're basically Department of Defense backed through their billion-dollar contracts, especially with the meta-tagging, so that they can scrape and reconstitute the entire internet if and when it goes down, or if they want to take it down and then put it back up under their complete control. That way nothing's lost. But
I started looking into it was because I was hearing in ABC, CBS, the Obama press corps news, the mainstream media, not even Fox. Fox is a little more fair than the liberal media. They were saying things about it. You were seeing clips on the internet about them saying Obama can detain somebody for their future crimes. And these are news stations that I hate that were attacked. Chris Matthews even went after Obama, who is, Obama leg hugger. He loves Obama. He gets chills up his spine every time he sees him. I mean, this guy loves him, and he even bashed him a little bit. They're taking our rights away.
Well, I think it's all voluntary, and that's
martial law. Whenever they want, they can detain you indefinitely without a trial or just by suspicion. They have made those laws and put those laws in place and made it legal to take your arms, detain you, and to take away everything you own, or to shoot you where you stand. They have the right now. They passed those laws. If you listen to Van Jones and you listen to the stuff that... Anyway, I could go on and on and on.
Well, good. Go on and on and on. I want to hear more because I'm doing my shows about this and I'm putting this stuff in my books. And in fact, for the Second Coming of the Messiah, well, the Bible, it's being republished as the Bible Part 2, the Second Coming of the Messiah, with new artwork and new information. I want to be updated as much as possible because I've been writing so much. I haven't really been tracking the news, so it's good to get an update.
There's another video I watched. This girl got on. She's in the military. She trains with Homeland Security. She went to a training thing, and it was described to her about the mailboxes and stuff, and about what they were going to do to people. And she got and made a YouTube video saying, "I took an oath to defend my country against enemies, foreign and domestic, and this may interrupt the success of my own life, but I feel like God would want me to speak out for the American people, for people to prepare themselves because we're going to be exterminated."
Really? We are going to be exterminated? This is a video on YouTube?
Video on YouTube.
What's the name of the video?
I don't know, Ronald. I'm actually driving.
Oh.
I'm on my phone and driving. But
that's okay. Will you email it to me? I'll dig it up. I'll dig it up and I'll post it right there. I'll post it.
You have people on the news, like Fox News, like even like Sean Hannity and them, and Rush Limbaugh saying, we call all these people conspiracy theorists that talk about the New World Order and the one world government, but it can't be anything but that because things couldn't be this bad.
Well, it's the existence of the monetary system. Adrian, it's the existence of the monetary system.
If you were to turn on the news, you would realize that what we think is no longer considered a conspiracy theory. What we think is considered the truth now.
I know.
People in mainstream media are trying to speak out. I mean, one guy saw a whole truckload of martial law signs. A whole truck. I mean, an 18-wheeler. And the thing was nothing but martial law signs to go up and down the highways.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And then the coffins that they show at these FEMA camps, that hold 3 bodies at a time. One guy was leasing the land to the government, and one guy drove up and said, "What are all these porta potties?" He goes, "Those aren't porta potties." He goes, "Well, what are they?" He goes, "Well, if I told you, it'd be one of the very few that know." And he goes, "This is all on video." He goes, "They're coffins. There's going to be a virus, and they're setting up all over the country to this fire. Oh, if they want you to take a vaccine for the swine flu, this one other person said, do not take it." That's what the girl said. She goes, "When they want you to take the vaccine for the swine flu, when you refuse, you go to a FEMA. When you take it, you sign your own death warrant. So it's a win. It's not a win. You die for taking it, and you die for not taking it." So
what do we have to do? Hide? Do we hide?
I want to get out of it. Where? Call Larry Hall and ask him to put us in a bunker? Like, they're not going to blow his bunker up with a friggin'
Survivalcondo.com. I know.
He's nuts if he thinks that he's safe down there at this point. If you saw the amount of armory and, I mean, it looks like we're invading another country when you see the amount of stuff that they brought into this country. We have enough. They brought in 1.6 billion rounds. That's enough to invade Iraq like 10 times.
There's 330 million people in the United States, so that's 3 bullets for each human being in America. Well, what do you suggest we do then? What's a plan? What do you do?
Come home.
I know, but I can't leave Los Angeles right now.
Well, what did the Jews do? They fled.
Where do we go? What country is it safe to go to?
Well, I think they're trying to destroy Switzerland. Something's going on there. I don't know. We go maybe the Middle East. What better place to hide than in a war zone that's already been attacked? They're done over there.
What would we do? How long would we stay?
Russia?
Where would we go? The thing is, there's almost nowhere to go, and for subsistence.
Right. The United Nations now is running our country. We have, Obama sat while he's president, sat as the head of security at the United Nations, both at the same time, which is against the law. He should have been impeached for it. And you cannot hold any other title while you are a U.S. president than U.S. president. That's considered treason. So his allegiance is with the United Nations and a one-world government and a new world order and a one-world currency. And Nobody called him out on it, Ronald. Nobody, not even the media. What does that tell you? They don't call him out on anything. And if you question anything he's done, it's regulated on paper as an amendment that if you question him and his authority and his past and his records and his citizenship, you're an enemy of the state.
Well, we've given away our sovereignty by turning over our birth certificate. Well, you know what? It's all the military and the police. I mean, they're the ones that.
The military are holding up signs over their face and going on YouTube and saying, "This is not who I am. I did not ever sign up to take arms up against my own people." And they're covering their face and holding up these signs and warning the population. And the internet is taking it down as fast as they can. What comes after trillion? What's after some billion, trillion, quadrillion, or whatever it's called?
Yeah.
That's what we are. That's our debt and assets.
Yeah, that's why the foreign military are allowed to send their people over to our country now, because they actually hold title to most of our federal and state land. And private property is held by the local county because they hold all the grant deeds.
And we can stop it right now. We have big business over here that could stop it because we still have a little minute bit of production in this country. But as soon as the carbon tax comes in, which will drive every business, you will not be able to be in business unless you are part of the elite. They will be exempt. China is exempt. Third world countries are exempt. But they are going, and that's going to be the nail in our coffin because we won't be able to produce anything. You won't be able to even farm one blade of grass. Nothing. And that's how they're going to take all your food away.
What is it?
Carbon.
What is this?
Carbon tax.
Carbon tax?
Yep.
What's the carbon tax?
You gotta Google it.
Well, what is it though? Do you know?
You're being taxed on CO2, carbon dioxide.
Really?
Your carbon footprint. Yeah, it's Al Gore's movement to
decrease carbon output and save the ozone.
It's totally ridiculous because every plant on the planet needs carbon dioxide.
Well, I think.
And too much carbon has never hurt this planet. There's been ebbs and flows of carbon, and these scientists have had to admit as of late that yes, the ice caps shrink in the summer because of the sun and the tilt of the earth, and they freeze in the winter because of the sun and the tilt of the earth. And that has been happening since the beginning of time, and it's going to continue to happen, and there's no such thing as man-made global warming, and that's a fact. And those 30,000 scientists that they said signed on to the Al Gore's idea of global warming weren't even scientists. I can't believe it hasn't been shut down.
Well, because YouTube and Google and the Department of Defense are all in contract with each other, so they all work. They're all part of the same government corporation, really, the United States government corporation, by way of contracting. So they're all in business together, meaning they are working toward the same purpose. And if YouTube is becoming the center for videos where everybody can do it, I think maybe they're just gathering all the videos, and then when it's time and they want to shut down the internet, they can shut it down for as long as they want, reconstitute it with the content that they want, and then have total control over it and do that anytime they want, so that all of that stuff can never be scraped. They can bring down the internet. See, once the internet is tagged, meta-tagged, which means that every time you search a word in Google, that word, like, Illuminati, everywhere that word appears on the internet will pull up the page that it appears on. That's what meta tagging is. It connects a word to its location on the internet. So if the government controls the internet through its contracts with the data warehousing by Google and the meta tagging effort by Google and the data warehousing of video and audio by YouTube and the meta tagging of all of that stuff, once the government brings down the internet under their control, having everything scraped meaning they've got everything on the internet.
That's why Obama now passed a law that he can shut down the internet whenever he wants because of terrorism. It's no longer just terrorism with guns. It could be the stroke of some people in another country wanting to affect our internet. And he was just on the thing the other day saying how we need to protect the sovereignty of our internet and be able to shut it down at any time. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to announce when this whole thing takes place, before even a virus hits the airwaves, that there's been a virus in the banking system. It's going to be on a Friday, and they're going to shut down the bank.
See, and they're using the Hegelian dialectic method. They use they use the Hegelian dialectic method of problem, reaction, solution. They say that there's a problem, we react, and then they give us a solution, and it's their solution that they wanted. But first, they have to announce the problem, and that's what they do. And it's order ab cow.
Well, their solution is going to be martial law, but it's really not going to be martial law. It's going to be, because martial law, they're going to put us in these camps so that we can have fresh food and water, because our dollar has collapsed, the internet system's gone down, nobody has any money, so they're going to have to put us in these camps so that we can be fed and housed and safe from terrorism. And in the meantime, they're going to kill. Even one of them even had a baseball field.
Jeez.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like you play baseball, then after your game, when you go to take a shower, they're going to gas you.
It's probably a softball field. Let me tell you this. I figured out now what the all-seeing eye on the capstone in order ab cow means. The ordo ab cow means order out of chaos. And the universe, vibrations of the universe exist in a state of chaos until through our one vision, our one eye, the all-seeing eye, because there's one eye in the whole universe that sees everything and is everywhere and omnipotent. So when we focus our eye up into one focused thought, we become creative beings and can create into physical reality whatever we focus on. Well, the media at large has us all focusing on specific things, and they bombard us with the media, and so it plays out that way because we're focused on it. In the Second Coming of the Messiah books, the Messiah teaches the whole world to focus on something different and what they want that's beneficial, like sovereignty and freedom. And then it shows the military and police officers taking off their uniforms, dropping their guns, and saying, we're not going to support the government corporation terrorism anymore. We're going to stand with the sovereign human beings of the planet and have control over our human vessel now. So we're not pulled into these internment camps and injected and killed and shot.
They've PDH'd so many people in the military they don't even know.
PDH, what does PDH mean?
Pain drug hypnosis. They've brainwashed so many, like almost like born identity type of stuff. I was watching a video. In fact, there's a place under MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, in that area, a secret place where they take people and they start doing it to them as children. All those alien kidnappings and abductions, it's our fucking government taking them away and PDHing them and desensitizing them with all kinds of ritualistic things. They are satanic. The Illuminati is a satanic group running the world.
Well, here's what I've learned about positive and negative.
All the kids that are born with all the kids that are born with a seeing eye, like psychic, they develop their abilities because they can bring beings that are like reptilian-like down from the fourth dimension into the third dimension because they can't transport themselves. As
channels? They channel these beings?
Channels, yep. And it's been going on. I mean, there's one online. Her name's Carolyn. I'll have to look her up again. I have a bunch of stuff written down. So she escaped the Illuminati. She comes from the bloodline, the proper bloodline. She had the psychic abilities like her mother, and anyone with the psychic abilities went through special training to be able to do these things. But she was kidnapped on a regular basis in the middle of the night, taken to under MacDill Air Force Base.
Maybe not under, maybe, I don't know if you can go underground in MacDill, because MacDill's on a peninsula. It's surrounded by water, and in Florida.
Still at MacDill.
Yeah, maybe at MacDill, but I wouldn't say under MacDill. It would probably have been at the hospital, some part of the hospital, because I know MacDill.
She doesn't know where she was taken. She was drugged. And she said there was kids there, and she would see the same kids over and over again, and they were in cages. They would mentally say to her, tell somebody, get me out of here. You haven't been doing the research you used to do, have you?
Adrian, I've been writing and editing. I wish I had the time to do it. I have to produce, edit, film, work, publish. I've been finishing up this the Bible Part 2, the Second Coming of the Messiah, Book 1, The Awakening now. I mean, I got new artwork for it. I've been putting in a new voice, adding the deliberate creation information, also a better solution, a different perspective on reality. So I've just been working on that. I've been deconstructing the Bible so I can put an abridged version in, if you know what I mean. That's why I'm glad that you're updating me on what's going on. Is the government still shut down?
But you have to go online and just start Googling on watching the videos on the FEMA conscience. Alex Jones has some of the best. His InfoWars videos are amazing.
Yeah.
He does the whole history, where it all started, where it all came from. He just puts everything in proper order. You would get a lot out of watching Alex Jones' stuff. There's one that he does that's an hour long, but it winds up being 2 hours because he stops it and explains it all the way through. And it's one you can watch online.
You know what? And I'm glad that somebody's putting out there all of the problems and the situation. What I've been focusing on now, what I've been focusing on now is people taking action and having a solution, so that instead of just saying here's what's going on, I'm more geared towards here's what we can do.
Ronald, there's one solution left. There's no place to go. There's no place to hide. The only solution is to make every single person on this planet aware of what's going on, so they realize that we control them. We surround them. They don't surround us.
And that is why I'm publishing the sequel to the Bible, and I'm going to give it away all over the world.
We have to stand up and say we're not going to do this, and everyone has to stop in their tracks and tell them no. We know what you're up to. We know what you're doing. No. Nobody's doing it. Everyone's complacent, fat, sick, eating their fucking McDonald's, watching their fucking televisions, and they don't even have a clue that we're about to be bumped off. They're not even gonna know. They're like leading, half the population's like leading sheep to slaughter. You know? Part of me thinks, well, maybe they're better off dead. But I can't think that way, and I don't.
Well, I just look out my back window and think, okay, where can I hide when martial law is enacted? I don't know.
Where you don't have water. You don't have a water purifier backpack, do you?
Nope.
Do you have a bottle of Super Greens and vitamins, and that's will last you 2 months to carry around in your backpack so you can have water and vitamins?
No.
You don't even have the minimal preparation. You need shoes that you could be in for a month, pants that you could be in for a month, a backpack water purifier, and a way to communicate through shortwave radio.
Yeah, I don't have any of that.
And that's bare minimum.
We ought to all, as a family, make a plan on where we're gonna meet up and we're gonna communicate or what we're gonna do. I don't know what to do, Adrian. I'm not leaving Los Angeles though right now. I have too many things going on.
The biggest FEMA camp that there is, and the trains. You should see the train tracks that lead right up to the FEMA camp. They all have train tracks next to them. She goes, well, that could be a stadium or an arena or a racetrack. I'm like, what, with the train tracks leading right to the front door with the double barbed wire fence facing in so you can't get out instead of facing out so you can't get in? Really? He's like, okay.
Okay. And then what? Okay, and then what? How do you defend against that?
And then I showed him the thing for the gas chamber. He goes, well, that's for filtering air. I go, those aren't filters for air. He goes, you could paint cars in there. I go, you can gas people in there and incinerate their bodies in there. And then he saw the rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of the stacked coffins that was like 500,000 per FEMA camp. And he was like, oh, that's horrible. It's very morbid to watch. And one of the videos I pulled up, you see this guy in like this little like self-flyer helicopter, you know, the kind that they can propel themselves type of thing, and you hear the song playing Twinkle, Twinkle.
What's today, October? Today's October 25th, 2013?
Mm-hmm.
And so what? You're saying that this whole FEMA, Obama calling martial law...
It's going to happen 11/9.
11/9.
Adding up to 11 or 9.
11/9. So you think November 9th?
That's the opposite of 9/11. Wouldn't that be kind of ironic?
11/9, 2013. Then if this happens, then this is the Armageddon.
It has to happen during Obama's administration. You know why?
Why?
Because they're going to march in the North American Union, which is going to be Canada, the United States, and Mexico, and him and the guy who's heading up Europe right now are both going to sit on the head of the United Nations, and there's going to be a one world government. And everyone has said Obama will not be gone, will be there, will be in for 3 terms, because he's going to be the head of the new world. That's why he's setting himself up. All these people say that there's no way, all these psychic, all these predictions, all these energies, all these readings, all coming up for Obama's not going anywhere. Well, of course he's not. He's setting himself up with the guy who replaced Tony Blair. I can't remember his name. The 2 of them are going to head up the United Nations One World Government, New World Order, with the Center for Foreign Relations and all that stuff. But I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I'm listening 100%.
Well, I don't know. I'm starting to really hate the term conspiracy theorist, because a conspiracy means that there are people working together towards one specific goal. A new world order, which our presidents have gotten on television and even said those words, New World Order, the Bushes said it.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order.
It's a conspiracy, yes, because it's people working together towards a specific goal, a specific outcome. So it is conspiracy. And the theory behind the whole thing is that the government is conspiring to take away our rights and our sovereignty, and they've already done that. So there's only one way to get it back, and that's to declare yourself a sovereign human being by taking control of your human vessel, your property, your automobiles, your land, by getting the grant deeds, the manufacturer's statement of origin, your certificate of live birth.
The houses were bought up by the 3 largest hedge fund companies in the world, own all the houses. That's why it looked like there was a turnaround. They had to accumulate, not just, we had this debt, right?
Yeah.
They had to accumulate the wealth of the land, not just the structures and the gold and the silver and the money and the assets, but they had to accumulate all the land. Well, they made it, so they got paid by the Fed for all the insurance-backed mortgages, and then they acquired all the homes through the hedge funds buying up the homes. Now they own everything. Now they can declare martial law. They have drones. They don't need soldiers. They can do without people now. They don't need us. They only need 500,000 people on the planet. They need to get rid of 6-point-something billion people.
All right, well then, I guess I just want to say, Adrian, I love you. And if I don't see you by the time I get killed by this Armageddon, then, well, at least we had a good time in New York and Christmas vacations and family vacations. How's Mom doing?
What's that, Ronald? We have to tell people.
Well, that's what I'm doing with my reality show and my book.
I got to save their lives.
Well, then will you do me a favor? Will you start pushing my book and getting sales for it?
We had like 3 weeks.
Well, people got to read the book this coming weekend, then. They got to read it immediately. What's the solution, Adrian? Everyone get together, or what? What do we do?
We call them out. We stand up and say, no, we're not going to do it. You get through to your military. You get through to your veterans. I mean, veterans, if you're a veteran, do you know what color sticker you get on your mailbox? Red. Is that sick? You've given your life and your blood for this country, and you get a red sticker?
What does red mean?
Dead. You don't even get taken to the FEMA camp.
Red means dead. Well,
Anyway, I don't mean to lash out, but I've been watching too much of this stuff, maybe. And I'm not crazy. I swear I do have other things in my life going on. But I'll sit and meditate sometimes, and I'll say, okay, I need some guidance here from some kind of higher power, whether it be Daddy, if you're listening, or some other guardian angel, or whoever you are, that makes me focus on what I need to be focusing on, and it keeps coming up. And every time I look at the clock, not every time, but I always see 9/11 twice a day. I always look at 9/11 a.m. I'm always looking at the clock, and I see 9/11. And then at 9/11 at night, I always happen to look at the clock. I always do. Why is that? Something's trying to get my attention.
How do we get the news out to the most number of people? That's why I'm doing this email campaign with my show, getting it out to so many people so that everyone can watch. If you could just pass the link in the books, all the information is there. And then who knows? How do you get everybody in the planet to mobilize? People are going to die, I guess. It's a morbid thing. I just don't want to be one of them.
Ronald, people are waking up. If you were listening to the talk radio lately and even the mainstream media, People are mobilizing. People are waking up. People are. One guy went to the bank to pay his mortgage, $1,300. He took out his video camera. They wouldn't take his cash. His cash was no good. They wanted a fund transfer because paper money was worthless. It's already happening.
Really?
But yes, it's already. It's already. Go to the grocery store. Have you been to a regular grocery store in the past 6 months?
Yeah, I go to the grocery store all the time.
And what does $100 buy you?
Well, everything's. I only buy fruits and vegetables and nuts. I don't buy anything packaged.
And how expensive is it?
Everything is like a fortune. At least $3 for a package of crackers and $5.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't even really look because I don't shop. I only shop in the produce department. I only eat fruits and vegetables and raw foods, raw fruits, vegetables, and nuts. So when I go to the store, I buy apples, I buy oranges, I buy celery, because I juice, I buy carrots, the only thing I ever buy that's in a can is beans. I get red beans and black beans, and I'll eat a can of beans. But other than that, I don't buy anything in a bag, box. Okay, bye. So, what do you think about all that? That's my sister. She called me. And I had to get that conversation on the show because she's passionate. She's an honest person. She's a massage therapist. She works for my mom and sister's family company, Piketty, where we import and distribute products all over the world. And she's also the representative for a MRI clinic, or a clinic that does all the different services for MRIs and CAT scans and things like that. And she goes out and she cultivates business. So she's a business person, and she's a mother of 3, 2 boys and a girl, with a great husband, and they have a huge dog, Max. You've met him. And so she's done road siding. She's a adjusted normal person, and she's been doing the research too, and she sees that just what you heard. So today's October 25th 2013, and by November 9th, 11/9/2013, which is, I guess, 15, 16 days away, who knows what's going to happen. So the only thing that you can do to prepare against this is to, I guess, not answer your door, have enough water for 30, 90, 60 days. Who knows how long this is going to last, because there's going to be a process, I guess. You need food, water. I guess you don't even really need electricity, depending on where you are, if you're going to be in a cold area. And I guess money's not going to matter, so food and water is what you need, and shelter somewhere. So that's your responsibility. And if you are police or military, think about what you're doing. You're going to turn a gun on other human beings because some government corporation who's doing everything it can to kill as many people as it can through wars of conquest and taking away your rights and your freedom. You going to support that? I'm not. That's why I quit. All right. Thanks for watching The Ronald Show, documenting the collapse of life as we know it, as perpetrated by the global military industrial complex. Don't be a part of it. Turn the other cheek. That's the solution. All right, peace.
Now available at Amazon and Barnes & Noble is Harry Johnson, Diary of a Gigolo Porn Star. The crazy adventure of a 1951-born male in Beaufort, Georgia with a 2-foot penis that grows to 3 feet. He goes on to become an international porn star after becoming a war hero in Vietnam. Get it today at Amazon or Barnes & Noble.